the inspiration of the famous Statue of Liberty in New York. Carved out in the granite is a woman who stands 36 feet tall, draped in regal cloth. Her right hand is extended towards heaven, while her left hand holds the Bible of the Pilgrims, the Geneva Bible. The pages of the Bible are open as a message to all who see the statue that the Pilgrims read the Word. Her powerful stance echoes the rock-like faith of the American forefathers. They held fast to the belief that their faith was the very foundation and core of liberty. Without faith in the Creator God, there would be no true and lasting liberty. Etched into her forehead is a star. The star is a symbol of the illuminating light of God's Word, which imparts wisdom into the minds of all believers. The rest of the smaller statues positioned on each side of the monument are each connected to faith. And without faith, it falls apart. Our American forefathers understood that a nation is made great by its people and its values, and that a faith in God and a reverence for the Bible provide the firmest foundation.
Wonderful. Great monument. I look forward to all of those throughout the rest of the week. All right, a lot more coming up, and guess what? We are only a couple of weeks away from midterm elections, and we have a lot of candidates that you'll be hearing from over the next couple of weeks, and we'll have one coming up in just a few moments.
Hi, Joe. This is Dan.
Hi.
Hi. Can we get a sound check from you? Just a countdown 10, 9, 8.
Okay. Just a second here. What kind of sound check do you want?
You can just do a countdown. Just a 10, 9, 8.
Okay. 10, 9.
Okay. That sounds great. Thank you very much. We are a couple minutes out.
Okay.
One minute. $30. Stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, welcome back, and we are certainly in the middle of a campaign season, and we're only a couple of weeks away from the most important, probably, midterm elections in a long time. And in the state of Oregon, we also have some critical races. One of them is for the U.S. Senate seat, and we have on with us today Jo Rae Perkins. She's a Oregon candidate for the U.S. Senate seat, currently held by Senator Ron Wyden. Her website is perkinsforussenate.vote. There we go. Check that out. perkinsforussenate.vote. Jo Rae, good to see you again. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great, Harry. Thank you.
How's the campaign going?
It is going phenomenal. I've been going everywhere all over the state for months now. Well, probably over a year if we really count it all. And we feel very confident of what's going on. So
good.
We're looking forward to these next few weeks.
Okay, so what are you hearing from Oregonians out there? I'm sure it's a little bit geographical, different interests, but what are you hearing out there?
Well, there's one one theme that is permeating across the state, and that's this high inflation and these high fuel costs that everybody is being affected by. As you know, the cost of our gasoline drives the cost of everything else up when the gasoline goes up, and they're even talking higher costs of gasoline as we go farther into the year as the year ends up. So that's a big concern for people just trying to get back and forth to work, taking their kids to sporting events or to school, to the grocery store. So that's a huge concern.
So let's say you're a U.S. Senator. What would you begin to work on to fight the inflation that we're facing?
Well, we have to stop kicking the can down the road and stop raising the debt ceiling. That is absolutely a huge issue. We have a Congress who decides that they should just spend more money that we don't have. We need to reopen up the Keystone Pipeline. We need to reopen up the drilling up in Alaska. We were almost completely energy independent, and now we are so dependent on foreign oil. It is unconscionable what this current administration is doing. Ron Wyden is right in the same track as Joe Biden is, and it's not good for Oregon, and it's not good for America.
The other big thing we're hearing out there is very much on the minds of parents is education. Oregon's not doing well in the national scale. What's your take on that?
My take on that is that we need to get rid of the U.S. Department of Education, which is controlled by the National Education Association, and they're driving these terrible policies that are not working for our children. We need to let the people here locally in the state determine what is best for their kids, not coming down from some national organization and from the federal government. The U.S. Department of Education is, in my opinion, actually unconstitutional, so it needs to go away.
I'm sure you're bumping into forest management and water issues. What are you hearing and what are you suggesting?
So I'm suggesting that we get, again, the federal government out of the control of our forest land and our waterways that are not interstate. The forest management policy of Ron Wyden is terrible. In 2021, Oregon was number 2 in total acreages burned in the country due to wildfires. We've got to get back to proper forest management, open up our forest roads, do some good thinning and cutting of those trees, take care of that underbrush which fuels those fires. And then for the waterways, what they're doing, shutting off the water, wanting to take out dams makes absolutely no sense. The solution should be relatively simple. It's just a matter of bringing all the voices together at the table, sitting down and working out an equitable plan. And I think a big problem that we have is this use of the Endangered Species Act. Let me rephrase that, the abuse of the Endangered Species Act. That needs to be rewritten, which will help take care of what a lot of the issues are coming down through the waterways. I was just over in Central Oregon the other day. They were talking about the Wickiup Dam, and now because of the spotted frog, they have to release a lot of water out of there that within the next several years, the farmers are not going to have any water up in the Madras area.
Wow. Okay. What little time I have left, one of the issues that we all came through was the overreach during the pandemic mandates, and quite frankly, some consider it a constitutional overreach. What would you do about that?
Oh, absolutely. It's a constitutional overreach. There's no doubt about it. The federal government, the CDC, the FDA, they have no right to tell anybody what they need to put in their bodies, and the amount of lack of true information that they shared, again, is wrong and is totally unethical. So I would push hard against that and let each person make their own decision with full information, and stop using people as human guinea pigs to test to see if these vaccinations are going to work or not work.
All right. I wish I had more time, but let me say to our viewers and listeners, you can check out Joe Ray's campaign at perkinsforussenate.vote, V-O-T, and that's pretty clever, perkinsforussenate.vote. Well, thank you, Joe Ray, for your time. I know you're busy on the road, so off to your next event.
Thank you much. Have a great day.
All right. Good to see you. All right. 23 past the hour. Well, again, she
Thank you, Joe. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Concerns voters this election cycle is crime. If you look here in Oregon,